Prabhu will be giving class. A brief about Prabhu. He's an ardent devotee of Lord Sri Narasimha Dev. He's renowned for conducting Sri Narasimha Yajna in various ISKCON temples, and he has performed the most powerful Narasimha Yajna this in our temple in January, and today we all witnessed it, and also the Abhishekam. We are so grateful to you, Prabhu, for coming. Kids.
I want to scare her with the adventures.
With that, let's welcome Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra one time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Ho. Thank you, Mataji, for being such a nice MC. You know what's really amazing for the kids? If the kids, if they're wild, then maybe take them to the back. I don't know, maybe, no. So, me and my friend Jensen, Hare Krishna. Me and my friend Jensen here, we were just in a Hobalam like a month and a half ago. And you know what we saw? We saw the tracks of a tiger. When we were coming back from a temple in a rickshaw, which normally you don't take. I was glad we were in the rickshaw, because if we were walking, maybe the tiger would have got us, right? Jai Shri Lakshmi Prahlad Narasimha Namaha. Jai Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Narasimha. Jai. Here they come, the king and the queen. Yeah. They had some panakam. Yeah, I think they had, but if not, it's fine. You're okay? So I was saying, now that we're back, so the tiger almost ate Jensen. I'm just kidding. So if we were walking, like I used to do, the tiger would come and follow. So thank God we were in the rickshaw, and the rickshaw driver was like, of course we got out of the rickshaw to see, and the rickshaw driver was like, don't get out, don't get out. Remember? He was like, don't take photos. And the tiger's paws were bigger than our hands, just huge paws. Hardly a few minutes, maybe less, it was there. And when I was young, I think it was one of the same tigers when I was young that was roaming the jungles in this area. I think it was a male tiger. It's like his place. So sometimes these tigers, they're great rishis or yogis, tapasvinis or something. And Ahobilam's such a sacred place. Now, when I was young, most kids, they go to school. You all are responsible. But I didn't like school at all. Maybe we can take her in the back. It's okay. And all of you, I'm sure, do you like school? You can be honest. 50-50. I never liked it. But don't be like me. I had this idea that my other siblings, they can do school, and I'll be free. And when I found out that Narasimha had a home in India called Ahobilam, when I grew up in ISKCON, I didn't know. I just thought Lakshmi Narasimha, Ugra Narasimha. I didn't know there was 9 temples in the kind of jungle forest. Once I found out, I became obsessed. You know how you kids become obsessed with video games or I don't know, Little Pony or Barbie. Boys, we like trucks, we like, funny. I was obsessed about going to this Narasimha place, Ahobilam, by myself when I was 16. Any of you 16, 17 here? 18? Yeah. Your parents would never let you just leave for India. Well, I didn't listen to my parents. But, nonetheless, I went, and anybody from Andhra, Telangana? Oh, these are the Narasimha people. And I love you all because Narasimha is like in your blood. Even if you think you're a devotee of Ram, Venkateshwara Govinda, Ranganath, Vitala. No. Your ancestors only worship Narasimha. This is the Ishtadev or Kuladev of all the Andhra Telangana people. So Andhra is a special place in my heart because there's more Narasimha temples there than anywhere. But they're very abstract. Like some eyes on the wall. Imagine you go to a temple and there's just like a wall with some eyes and a mouth. And they say, Swayambhu Narasimha. So being born in ISKCON, I'm used to the statues, the idols, the murlavas. We want to see Bhagavan because we're limited. But these yogis, these yoginis, they were meditating. Narasimha would appear to them, a vision in this spot. And that place becomes non-different from Narasimha, like Swayambhu. Hundreds of years ago, some even thousands. So this stone, this boulder, this wall is invested with Narasimha's energy because that devotee had a vision of him there. So I was shocked, and then there were so many forms. Like I was chanting in the Yagya, Chintamani, Kevala, Rama Narasimha. I didn't know there was a Rama Narasimha. Hanuman was worshipping him. Right? He holds the bow and the arrow. Kanaka Narasimha, Girija Narasimha. Girija means residing in a cave, waiting for his devotees to find him. Kanaka Narasimha means being carried by Garuda. Lakshmi Narasimha being carried by Garuda after it happened. And all these amazing forms. I was thinking, wait a second, but I only know two. These people don't know what they're talking about. When you're young, you have this arrogance, you think you know everything. And I started to realize I knew nothing about Narasimha, and that his people were the kindest, most generous, easygoing, helpful people, because I didn't speak any English, I didn't speak any Telugu, or Hindi, or Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, or the sub-languages, the tribal languages. All I had was this photo of Narasimha, and I would ask them, Narasimha, Mandir. And in South they don't say Mandir, they say Devasthanam. So then I had to learn Narasimha Swami Devasthanam. And then I learned how to read body language. And then they would write down in Telugu on my notepad where the temple is. And then they would take me to the bus driver, who was very excited to have a white guy on the bus. And the engine was at the front. The old elderly people here remember. Engine was on the front of the bus next to the driver. And you could sit on this. And it was so hot. So the driver was sitting there talking to me, and I would just, maybe he's complaining about marriage, I don't know. I would just nod, yeah, oh, I get it. And then he would stop sometimes after 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, and then Narasimha. He would just stop the bus. And it was like a path. It was dark sometimes. There was a small mountain in the background or a hill. Narasimha. And he would give me a ride for free. I never paid for any buses back then. Now it's all digital. Can't get away with it. And I would just go. And then I would walk. The temple's closed. I would go to the Pujari's house on the hut. It was generally a hut. And they would wake up. Normally it was the lady, the Pujaris, they like to sleep, And I would say, Narasimha. And she would be so confused, but she would wake up her husband, and most of the time he would just hand me the keys. He like this, because he's sleeping. It's nap time. It's not puja time. He had lunch, now sleeping, and then Mandir opens 4, 5, maybe 7, whenever they feel like it. So I had this really amazing experience of all open doors. So I could go touch the deity, hug the deity, put my head on their feet, real, more like a rasik, a bhav type of a thing. And in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, we say Krishna has so much rasa and so much bhav, but I see Narasimha as that, because listen, the boy, Prahalada, after Nrsingadev killed, he was soaked in blood. Narasimha, he tore apart Hiranyakashipu and the blood splattered all over his mane, so he was licking his mane like a cat licks, because he was half lion. Everything was blood. Prahlad walked to him and he picked up the boy and he hugged him and embraced him. This is rasa, this is bhav, this is like love in the purest form. So I wanted this. Obviously, you can't be like Prahlad. There's only Prahlad. But I felt very connected to his people, and through his people, I could find him. So I would see the temple, finish, boom. I'd stand out on the road and I would hitchhike. Somebody would pick me up in a Tata Sumo or some bus or rickshaw, and off to the next temple. And sometimes I would meet a professor or some old guy. He spoke colloquial English from British time, and he would tell me, "Oh, my wife's sister's nephew's cousin's uncle's daughter married one pujari from this district, that district." And I'd be like, "Oh, how far is it?" And then he would write down the address. And then he would say, "Stay on the bus for 2 hours, get off in Warangal, or get off in Vanaparti, or Kamam, or Guntur," so many. And then from there, you just ask the rickshaw drivers or bus drivers. So this happened so many times. And I would show up sometimes at 11 o'clock at night. You're not supposed to open the temple. But I would knock on the... And the Brahmins were eating, sometimes 10, 11 at night. So for me, this was good because I would get some prasad, some food I wouldn't eat for days. I was very skinny until I got married. Then another story. The food, too much good food. So I would wake them up sometimes, and they would take me to the temple, midnight. And the whole village would wake up and come, and we would do Maha Puja. And then I would find, they would say, "Oh, no bus till the morning." So I would sleep in their house on the ground. They were so kind. And then I would keep going like this from state to state. And Andhra said, I said, "Andhra, Narasimha's in Tamil Nadu? Any temples in Tamil Nadu?" "No, there's no temples in Tamil Nadu," they said. "Narasimha belongs to us. He manifests here. The Tamil people are just fisher people. They don't have anything." They said this to me. I said, "What are you, this is impossible." That's like saying, I don't know, that in America, every state is exactly the same. We know it's not. Texans are Texans. New Yorkers are New Yorkers. California, every state has a type of style and people and dress. Here we have cowboy boots. So I was like, this is impossible. And I ended up in Tamil Nadu. Now, any Tamils here? Vanakkam. So some of the biggest dynasties are in Tamil Nadu. The Cholas, the Pallavas, the Vijayanagars. They built huge temples, like Sri Rangam. There's no other temple big like this, right? In India, Namakkal. Jensen went to Namakkal for the first time this last trip. How was it? He was blown. You go. It's a mountain, and then you go into this cave, and there he is sitting. And behind him is Narada Muni, Brahma, Shiva, some devatas, the 4 Kumaras, and they're all looking around because he's showing the nail. I'm going to kill the Asura with this. This is his mudra. Because they were worried. They said, "I don't know, we don't trust you, Bhagwan. This one's really tough. Hiranyakashipu did tapasya for 62,000 years. This guy is, I don't know if you're going to be able to deal with him." So they're like, "How are you going to do it? Give us a sign." And he held his, so this is the place. Very powerful. And across the street is Anjanaya. Huge Anjanaya. You went to, yeah, beautiful deity. And then in Madurai, what's the name again? Tanam Mamali Koil. Anyways, Tamil names I forget because they're so long. Tanam Mamali Koil or something. Again, huge mountain. And he appeared to a rishi who was doing tapasya in the Kund. Huge Yoga Narasimha in a cave. So powerful, sitting there. So I was blown away in Tamil Nadu. And I met a lady, Yadagiri Padmanabhan. She was like, big Narasimha, it's like Swamini, Guru. I didn't know these people existed. She took me to so many Narasimha temples. And then when I was leaving Tamil Nadu, I even asked her. I was like, "Amma, anything in Kerala?" She said, "Oh, those people." Tamil Nadu and Kerala, back then they had some rivalry, Which state is the best? And of course, Kerala, they say God's country. That's what they call Kerala. And they're very intelligent, a lot of intellectuals. So they think Kerala is better than Tamil Nadu. So she said, don't waste your time, nothing's really there. I said, but I heard of, Guru Vair. Yeah, this is a nice temple. But Narasimha temples, I doubt it. And Narasimha anyways manifest here, Sholingar now. And I said, yeah, but what about Ahobilam? He manifests there too. And then I was realizing, Ito Nishimha Parato Nishimha. He is here, he is there, wherever I go, he is there. If you want him to manifest here, he'll manifest here. Why not? And then you can say, he manifested here. I was limited in my knowledge. And this mantra, Ito Nishimha Parato, who knows who made this mantra? Any youth? Hare, Bapre. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This came from him. He was sitting in Jagannath Puri, worshipping Yoga Narasimha and Gundicha. He chanted, Ito Nishimha Parato Nishimha Yato Yato Imita Nishimha. That's a powerful mantra. So, I went to Kerala and I met a Christian father at a church, Father David. And he said, oh my son, he thought I was in peril because I looked like a dirty, I was wearing the veshti, I had a chadar, my wooden shoes. I was like a hippie. He thought I was in turmoil, like he was going to save me. So I was bowing before this beautiful Mother Mary and Jesus. Mother Mary had sari on. Jesus had dhoti. And kumkum and bangles, all this stuff. It was very confusing for me. And the temple the church had a gopuram with a cross on it. It was like, what do they call that? Mixing the, or like intertwining different. So I went in and I was like, what is this? And the father came, oh my son, how are you? Why are you here? I said, oh Father, I'm looking for something. He said, yes, everybody's looking for something, my son. And I said, but I'm looking for Narasimha, so I don't think you can help me, Father. He said, oh, I know Narasimha. I know Narasimha very well, he said, because before he was Christian, he was Hindu. So I said, you do? Can you take me to some temples? Please, please, please. He said, yes, my son. But I just have to ask one favor. And I thought he was going to ask me to get baptized. I was like, of course. Take me to the pond. Let's do it. Anything. I was ready to do it. And he said, no. You pray with me in my temple, and I'll take you to pray with you in your temples. I said, of course. He bowed. Oh, Father, thou art in heaven. And then he starts blessing me, saying his beautiful prayers. Mother Mary is the mother. Why not? She's an Amma. So I totally respect this. And Jesus was an incredible devotee, saint, very powerful. So he drove me in his old ambassador, and we went to like 5 Narasimha temples in Kerala, and each one he would bow. He was wearing the full father dress with but he would come inside and do pranams, and all the pujaris respected him. They were speaking in the local languages, and after the 5th one, he said, my son, I have to go. I have my service, I can't be gone for too long. I said, no, please stay. He said, before I go, I want to tell you a secret. He said, I still pray to Narasimha and he's my favorite. I said, really? He said, shh. Yes. I said, oh, well, okay. Years passed, I went back to visit, but he had passed, he left. And so from Kerala, I went then to Karnataka. Unbelievable temples. The wealth is insane. The God Saraswats, they were the money lenders. They would give 50% of their money to the temple. Gold in Kailashas, weighing 10, 20 kilos. Crazy stuff. I was blown away. And Madhvacharya was there in Udupi Krishna. Madhva's main Kuladev and Ishtadev was Narasimha. So this was like an amazing thing. But when you go to the Madhvas, they don't like so much white people. It's understandable. The British invasion, the Portuguese invasion, the French invasion, I can go on. So they're a little bit, not racist, just, white person. Sudra! So I was just asking I didn't care. I would see a Swamiji, Swamiji! And he has all his people around him, and I was a white guy. I was like, do you speak English? Do you speak English? And they would, of course, ignore me. I kept trying over the years. Ignore me, ignore me. And they all spoke English, of course. But, they're very strict. They believe associating with those who are influenced by the modes can rub off on them subtly. So, I kept trying, and I found amazing temples in Karnataka. There's one Prabhupada disciple there who has an ashram. So he helped me, he spoke the local language. Blew my mind. And then Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Himachal, oh my God, Joshimat, Vrindavan, Mathura, Ujjain, everywhere, Bengal, every state. I mean, it took many years. And I kept running away from America. I was trying my best to stay away. So I started a business in India to keep me in India. And I was so fortunate to meet the right people. People like Narendra Modi, big people at that time. Like when I went to before Mumbai, I would see some, I guess, celebrity. Hey, you speak English? Everybody in Bombay speaks. Yeah, man. Oh, thank God. I'm looking for some Narasimha temples. Do you know where to any? And they were like, I don't think so. In Bombay? No. Mumbai? I don't. He said, that's more like out east to, Ramtek, Nanded, all these cities. He's like, maybe, I don't think in Mumbai. Mainly Ram or some Krishna, Balaji. Gujarat was the most cool. Gujaratis are very special. They worship Narasimha like crazy. And my friend Deepak, that's where I met Modi, was through Deepak, this billionaire guy. And he took me everywhere to find Narasimha. I had to do him a favor, of course. Help his daughter get to America to her husband. Back then it was called sponsor. You could go to the American embassy. They don't ask any questions. Oh, she's with you? Yes. Bam! 1-year visa. That was it. On the plane to America, I dropped her off. Came back to India. And Deepak Patel, he said, Dhruva, I want to do you a favor. What do you need? Can I give you some money or something, for doing this favor? Because his daughter couldn't see the husband for years. They wouldn't give her visa. Which now I'm learning is very difficult, actually. I didn't know it was such a thing. So Deepak got me this PIO, OCI. I never asked how, but he got it. Back then you could do stuff like this. And so it allowed me to stay in India as long as I wanted. Whereas before I would overstay my visa purposely, then I'd have to go pay 100 rupee fine. Now it's like 2-3 lakh fine. And it was a real burden. So each and every state had its Narasimha people, right? Men, women, children. And I was obsessed. It was like a drug. I couldn't get enough. So all my friends were like finishing high school, going to university, big shots, getting married, and I was like, I missed all that fun because I was in the jungles with Narasimha. And it really kept me there from probably a good 10 years, going back and back, and soon I found hundreds in Andhra, hundreds in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, and then 900, 1,000, 1,500, 1,050. It just kept going and going, and I would write everything down, and I would visit every other temple, and I would try to always meet the elders because they would know the story. Because every single Narasimha temple, they said, this is where he appeared and killed Hiranyakashipu. Even the small ones. This is it. And I would be like, okay, have you ever heard of Ahobalam? And they're like, what? I said, yeah, in Andhra, Ahobalam. He manifest. Oh, maybe they say this, but actually, our Sthala Purana is the. So I would go to the elders. I'd had to find the elders of the village because, they were like 80, 100 years old, and they knew the chronology. So then I would say, oh, okay, so-and-so king built this temple because, he had a dream, Narasimha, back in, the 6th century or something, Then I got the proper history. And then every kund, if you bathe in this kund, all diseases are gone. I said, but they said at that temple. No, this is the one. It was funny. Of course, I bathed in everyone. Probably not the smartest thing to do, but. And then I'm drinking the Charnamrita, sitting there with the cockroaches and the rats. I had to put my, I don't know what you call it, my faith and my reasoning. I finally figured it out. Wait a minute, whoa, I have to be a little bit, is it subjective the right word? Or just, look at the real reality of this. Because I thought everything was like, oh my God, And when you're obsessed with something, you're like that. And for years, these Swamis in Srirangam and Udupi still ignoring me. I would come through, Swamis, you have 1 minute. I just have to ask you. They would just keep going. When I finally brought my first book that I finished to the Swamijis hardly a few years ago, then they were like, oh, he was serious. And my friend who spoke perfect Kannada, he was like, yeah, they didn't believe you. I was like, what are you talking about? Came here 100 times saying the same thing. How could they not believe me? And they were like, well, now the book is... So then the Swamijis would look at me, I would hand them the book, and then they would say, oh, please come here, in perfect English. And I was like, oh, don't speak English. And they were like, this is amazing. How can I help? Then I started to learn more about Narasimha from the Madhva tradition, the Ramanuja, the Shankara, and different traditions, and why they put so much emphasis on worshiping Narasimha. Because he's the foundation of bhakti, sanatan, and strength, and fearlessness. And this boy, Prahlad, he didn't have any anxiety, depression. What are some of the other things? OCD, or I don't know. And this kid was tortured. He didn't need to see therapists after. Oh, Mera Pita tried to kill me. I have to go see therapist for 1-2 years. What? No. He completely was surrendered that he is not the controller. Bhagavan will protect him. And what did he chant when he was sitting there the whole time? He didn't chant the Maha Mantra. ISKCON sometimes, we like to claim that everybody chanted the Maha Mantra. No. He chanted, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is a very powerful mantra. You are my Father. You are my everything. I surrender to you, Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I am under your control. Do with me as you please. So, this boy was so awesome. Can you imagine? Your father says, Hare bachi, now I will kill you. Only because you had a belief. So his father went crazy, pagal. He went totally nuts because he had envy, jealousy, and pride. These are the worst diseases on the planet. Am I right? Of course we have cancer and all, but you know what causes cancer? Jealousy, greed, envy, pride. It does. It's science is saying now. Your mood creates diseases. Of course what we eat as well. You can't just eat Doritos all day and expect to stay healthy. But this is a plague in the whole, not just the material society, but also the spiritual society. Oh, my guru is better than your guru. My God is better than your God. My scriptures are better than, this is all nonsense. So this is what Prahlad prayed to Narasimha. When Narasimha said, what do you want? He said, kindly, just let me be with you. He said, no, you have to ask for something. That's already there. He said, okay, please remove the envy, jealousy, and pride from all humanity. I mean, who says that? I would have at least asked to win the lottery or Ferrari, Lamborghini or something. Eternal life. Right? This is, as a human, being honest, what would you ask for? If you think about it. We go into our deep compartments. We want material stuff. But this boy prayed for the deliverance of everybody. That's power. Purity is power. So that's what I loved about also Narasimha's devotees. They were so kind. When me and Jensen were in India last month and a half ago, was it that long or I can't remember. The one Swamiji, we went to meet him. He was so kind and open and humble. Remember, he was so chilled out. Really open, welcoming. Not like, oh boy, we got some whiteys here. Watch out. He was just very, oh wow, they love Narasimha. I love Narasimha too. So let me engage with these people, because it's like such a beautiful thing. You're on the same level. So Grihastas, all of you, I mean, you're not all married, but God for Grihasta is Narasimha. You should all be worshipping Narasimha. You want a good Grihasta life? Good husband, good wife, good kids, protection. Worship Narasimha. Do it. Get a deity. You see, I brought so many of these idols. I bring them to temples and get them invested with potency. Kavachas, this, that. Every morning you should offer a lamp to Narasimha and say, Narasimha Aarti, everything comes from you, everything is for you. Me serving my husband, serving my wife pleases you. Taking care of my kids pleases you. Taking care of the home pleases you and is for you. So simple. You Grihastas have it easy. The puja at home has to be nothing. But sannyasis and brahmacharis, heavy rules and regulations. Tapasya. Tapasya is Grihasta. Am I right? Married people? Being married is tapasya. Anybody says otherwise is crazy. So the Lord knows this. So Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya told their Grihastas to worship Narasimha Bhagavan, especially in the Ugra Rupa, and he will tear out your envy, jealousy, and pride. Not lust. Lust is biological. Through sadhana and purity, this can be nullified. But envy, jealousy, and pride are not biological. They are like a disease that attacks your mind and heart and body. So, yeah, it's a misconception that you cannot worship Ugra, because the intent, Prabhupada said, the painting we have outside of Ugra Narasimha, he said every single temple and every single Grihasta's house should have that at the entrance when they walk in. He didn't say, he could have said Lakshmi Narasimha. There was a Lakshmi Narasimha painting, but he could have said Prahlad Narasimha, Shanti Narasimha. No, he said Ugra Narasimha, so it tears out your envy, jealousy, and pride. So this is what we want. So I implore you on this day, Narasimha's day, especially the men, do more tapasya. This yields crazy results. Right? Like Jensen's not married yet. He's doing traveling, going to temples, having darshan, chanting mantras, more. Building up the sukriti like the bank account. So that if one day he decides to get married, he has this potency to go through it, because it's a very austere ashram. He's not going to be able to run off and do tapas. I know. Once I got married, the Ferrari becomes minivan. Very quickly. And it's not bad, it's just the nature of the ashram. I was lucky, I had my wife, most men it's like, oh yeah, I'm going away. Where are you going? You're not going anywhere. Right? But my wife, I'm going to see Narasimha. I could have a worse addiction. And she was pretty easy like that. Oh, okay. That's true. So it was like spiritual manipulation I did with her. But she was very supportive of that, right? Because I wasn't doing what normal. Oh, I'm just going to go play with the boys at the bar, or go dancing, or whatever, go watch a movie. I'm going to India to find more Narasimha temples and do my research. So I was lucky, So by tapa, girls also don't have to do much tapa. You guys can just light a diya, a lamp for Narasimha every day. You guys are lucky. Once you get the union, 50% of the man's tapa goes to you. This is not fair. So you get all this amazing potency, and then it makes the union very powerful, because it's the foundation of it's spiritual. Especially if the nurse is Narasimha. I've seen in India, all these Grihastas worshipping Narasimha, huge Ugra Narasimha deities they're worshipping. Nobody's suffering. They're very happy. The husband is very happy. Enjoying life. Huge 8-foot Ugra Narasimha tearing Hiranyakashipu to pieces. There's nobody mental, nobody suffering. They're the happiest people I know. So this is only for sannyasi brahmachari, where you have these heavy, stringent things like they should worship Ugra Narasimha Shalagram. But deity is different. So today I pray Narasimha blesses all of you with health, right? Bhakti, we're already trying. Just to try to bless you to be kind, to think before we speak, which is difficult for all of us. And to always just offer everything. You can buy some new socks. This is Bhagavan's energy that made this. Everything. A hair tie. This is Bhagavan's energy. Narasimha, thank you. This is from you. Thank you. It seems so stupid. No. But it's a daily acknowledgement. I love you, Bhagavan. Just like if you have a husband, wife, just acknowledgement. Oh, my darling, I'm thinking of you. Or thank you so much. This is huge. Oh, I really appreciate that. So God doesn't need it, but the fact that we constantly are remembering, oh, thank you for this, thank you for that. Wow, this is beautiful. I have everything because of you. So try our best to do this and watch what happens. Any questions, any comments? Also, Jensen and Dylan back here with the hat, they came all the way from California. So let's give them a big Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna! That's pretty cool. To fly all the way over here to celebrate Narasimha's appearance day with us all. So thank you for coming. And I met Jensen believe it or not, he met my parents. He loved Narasimha. They got talking, boom, boom. Next thing you know, we ended up in a Hobalam 5-6 years ago. How random is that? But it's not. Everything's a perfect link. And then he's building his Narasimha love more and more, and he works in the forest as a forest big shot. I don't know the title, but he's constantly in these beautiful forests in Northern California, and he's bringing his Narasimha with him everywhere, doing puja on the riverbanks, on top of the mountain, and he's thinking all the time, wow, imagine if there was a Narasimha here in this cave, or on top of this mountain, just sitting here, waiting for everybody. Right? That's cool. That's awesome. That's when you're into Narasimha, you're constantly thinking about Narasimha. So thank you for them. And also Vishwambar Chaitanya Prabhu and Johar Prabhu came from Dallas. Vishwambar! Johar! Are they here? Hey, there's Johar Prabhu. Where's Vishwambar? They came all the way from Dallas. We were doing yagyas in Dallas. We did like 43 yagyas in a row at devotees' houses. Because it's important to do homa, Narasimha homa in the house. No, just, you can do it one time to purify the energy. Like this morning I did a homa in someone's house. Son was getting married, they wanted some auspiciousness. Narasimha homa just obliterates negative energy or whatever, So it's very important. Maybe next time when I come, if you guys want homas in the house, you can speak to Satyasara Prabhu, he can arrange. But it's very important, these things. The home gets pretty dirty, and I don't mean physically, subtly. Because it's filled with me, I, my, I want. What about Bhagavan? So, thank you for your time. Anybody have any questions or additions? Or I want to thank Satyasara Prabhu so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here. He's a real Narasimha devotee, and I love his love for Narasimha. Also his wife, amazing devotee. So maybe someday when the temple's built, who knows, there'll be a big Narasimha deity here. Yeah, there you go. In in Houston today, they're installing one. I gave them one big deity of Yoga Narasimha. They're installing in a shalagram. So it's happening. Denver, now Houston, Atlanta, many temples now are getting these big deities because everybody loves Narasimha. So, thank you all for your time. If you are interested in purchasing any of these beautiful things I got, this will also help me complete my second book. I'm going there next month for the printing. So this will also, any of these purchases will go towards me finishing the second book called Narasimha, the God of Yoga. So thank you very much. Jai Narasimha. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Narasimha.
Thank you, Prabhu. That was such a wonderful sharing of your journey in India, seeking Lord Narasimha. You literally took us to all of India, especially South India, and you brought all the Narasimha temples right here in Austin. So, so grateful to you. Thank you, Prabhu. And thank you for also sharing with us of how we should worship to Lord Narasimha Dev. Thank you very much. And thank you for coming to our temple and performing the Yajna, the Abhishekam and class on Narasimha Chaturdashi. We are eternally grateful to you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Yeah. Let us thank Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra one time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Also, thank you for bringing your powerful deities.
One of those deities is Jensen's deity, the Yoga Narasimha, the black stone one. And then the big one, the wooden one, Veera Narasimha, he's mine, but maybe he'll make it to somebody's home one of these days. And the other one, the beautiful with the 16 arms, he's also available if somebody wants him for their home. He went to a few temples with me and got puja done to him, so very powerful deity. And then is there any more out there? Oh, then there's a replica of Mayapur Narasimha in the bronze, very special. A lot of pujas were done to him in Mayapur and a few other temples, so very special deity, Stanu Narasimha.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for bringing them. If you all haven't got the darshan, they are outside. Please take darshan. So moving on to let's give a big round of applause to Prabhu. Now we're moving on to the last segment of the program, the most important. We have the Maha Narasimha Aarti. Brajbhumi